So yeah. The one thing that I know by now is I don't want to stretch this out. Right? If I feel like I want to do something, I just go and do it. Which does not mean it's gonna be easy, right? So when I go into the forest and I find a fly agraric and my feeling tells me to collect it, I go and do it. Of course, I also know how to prepare it, right? And how do I know that? Because I've been shown how to do it, but then I also had to do it to see if it works. And so, I've read some things on the internet, and these things were half true. Because how I then did it was a bit different than what other people said, right? Other people said to do, I don't know what. Some people dissolve it in alcohol, some people dissolve it in honey. I don't really like that. For my own specific reasons, I'm not a big fan of alcohol. It certainly can have certain benefits, but that's just your own choice, right? The battery of these things is always astonishing how long it takes them to charge, and then it doesn't really matter. So the way I have, this is not telling you do it, it's just if you ever had the feeling of making experience with the fly agraric, I can just tell you how I'm doing it, but I also started with very small dosages. And the way I've been shown by my feeling how to do it is you take a fly agraric, I separate the stem from the cap, and then I put it on my heater and then let it dry until it's like really, really dry. And then, when it's really dry, you set up a pot and you put in, the way I've done it is a liter of water. Best is filtered water, of course, or purified and activated, doesn't really matter. And then you add however much fly agraric you want, because you cannot tell how strong it's going to be because every mushroom is different. This hasn't been grown in a lab or in some kind of facility where people grow psychedelic mushrooms. This has been in nature. This can be like really strong, and this can be like really weak. You won't know that. And then you take cumin seeds, quite a bit of it, and you're gonna make a tea. So you put in the fly agraric. I think you can just put in the whole thing, because you're going to be cooking it for 1 hour, like cooking it properly with cumin seeds. So on 1 liter of water, I would advise you to take 4 to 5 tablespoons of cumin seeds, and then you add the fly agraric, and then you boil it for 1 hour. And when it's done, maybe you let it cool down for a bit, and then you drink it You drink all of it as fast as you can, right? You don't have to like, wah, wah, wah. You know, you take your time, but you know, it's then you have to sit down and you drink it. And that means you're placing yourself in that place of trust. So what I want to say still is, you know, nobody's telling you to do anything. I'm just telling you what I've done. And all I can say is I had mild psychedelic effects, the same kind of effect that I would say I had with like psychedelic truffles from the shop. Similar effects, but the dosage was always more or less weak, mild, because that's how you start with psychedelics. You take a mild dosage. And the government's way of just ignoring and forbidding psychedelics, you know what that says? Yeah, in a way they are responsible for you, but they are not going to help you to get out of the system, because they want to keep you in the system to keep you safe. Your mother's probably never going to tell you to take psychedelics, and unless she's hooked on them herself. So never, if anybody tells you you should take psychedelics, don't trust them. If you have the desire to take them, and somebody's trying to tell you you really have to take them, never take it with them. Because what does it mean? They are trying to make you their slave. You know, they want to be the teacher, whereas they haven't learned the lesson yet. So I'm not gonna tell you you have to do anything. All I can say is it has helped me. But I also have been in the position of meeting somebody who was providing me with psychedelics, and who, if I had an experience on these psychedelics, was claiming it for himself. You see what that means? He used me to make himself feel good. That's the same topic with anal sex, right? Or doing porn. You use your partner. There's always one active motivator in doing porn. Whether that's the woman or the man, it doesn't really matter. If you agree to it, it's your own fault. You should have said no, and if that person leaves you over that no, then that is that person's fault. And maybe the person you're with only wanted to do porn because you weren't opening up to the relationship enough. So they need other people, right? That's why open relationships are an escape plan. Well, you're trying to look for somebody that is giving you what you want because your partner can't do it. So if your partner suggests an open relationship, you should try a bit harder or just let that person go. That's basically it. For me, open relationship is a clear no. It's a clear no. If you do that, I'm out. You want an open relationship? I'm gone. Because there's always two parts to a coin. And there's two parts to a relationship. And if one person wants an easy escape route, well, I'm not gonna do that. Right? It's me or nobody. You know, that's how I feel about the woman that I'm devoted to. I say it's her or nobody, right? If it's not her, it's nobody. And that's a scary place to be in, because somewhat you're dependent. But not really, if you learn how to work with it. Right? It's like digging for scraps. Why is she digging there now? Who is to say? Maybe she's finding some truffles. But doesn't really matter. It's like playing around. And that's what you have to do also. You know, you have to let each other play around in relationships. And so if you are okay with it, that your partner is having sex with other people, they might never do it. But don't try to push them. You know, I know the woman I choose won't want that. So if she does it, you know, I'm out of the game, because that's not what I want. I want a serious, devoted relationship. You know, I'm devoted to her, she's devoted to me. And if she doesn't do that, she's clearly not it. That's then a very hard thing to realize. Devotion is one yogic practice. You know, devotion to the guru. You know, that's what I've learned from Ram Dass. You're devoted to what? To something, to somebody. You're devoted to God, to life, right? I basically say, in a way, I want to die, you know, but also not. Yeah, there's parts in me that wants to die, but more parts that want to live. So I have to find that balance between darkness and light, life and death. And now I say, right, this is the first month of 12 months, which is, this is one of 12 days where I'm going to be out in nature talking about things, topics. And I can tell that this is as relaxing as it is exhausting. And that's why sometimes you need to sit down and chill for a bit. And that's what I wanted to do, but then I found myself talking again, which is what I came here to do anyway. I know you could watch this for hours, but thank you for this remote. I'm like saying, Christopher-Reusch.com. Check it out.